This is Old Man PHP. I create PHP video tutorials for the old guys who want to learn a new skill and compete with the young crowd. This is video number 17. This video is going to be a short one. We are going to be talking about the exception object, which keeps track of errors. All errors are kept in a log. You can set the different levels of error reporting. There's a function that reports an error called error reporting. We already talked about this. It sets the different level of errors in this to display. If you go get that PHP.ini file, and it will be set to all. If you go search error reporting, I showed you that in an earlier video. I will talk about this in another video. So let's create a function. I'm going to create a function here to show you what the exception does. So we're going to call this no divide. Let's see, we're gonna definitely want to compare exception. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna say, matter of fact, let's create that variable, and we're gonna call it the num. Stupid name, but I don't care. It says if the num equals 0, right, equals 0, blah blah blah. It's gonna have its own separate block, and what we're gonna do is we're gonna call on, we're gonna throw a new exception. That's going to help create, this is a class that's going to help us create an object. We'll talk about objects in detail in another set of courses. But for now, let's do this. We're going to throw new exception. That's the name of it. Now we're going to put a message in there. We're going to say you can't divide by 0. That's okay, that's alright. We'll do this, we'll do that. Then we're going to do let's do a little space here. Then we're going to do the else. Remember, we talked about that in the last 2 videos. And we're going to say throw new exception. Excuse me. And we're going to do the same thing. So we're going to say you can divide this number. How about that? So we'll do that, and then we'll go like this. Let's see. We're gonna create. It's a class. We're gonna create a new object, exception, right? So then what we're gonna do is we need to try something. We need to run this so we can use this. But to use this, we're gonna use the try and catch command. And in this situation, we're going to say, please try this, which is this. This is like you writing it separately here, but you're telling the computer, please try this. And the reason why you're doing that is because you want, let's put a 10 there, because you want to catch. That's what this command does. So it does the catch. Oops. And it also has its own curly braces, because you need your own block for this. Now this block here, if you go like this, you'll see it belongs to this block. So why don't we just move this guy one time over? There you go. And this one too. All right. This, I want you to try this, but I want you to catch. I want you to catch that exception, that error. So you're going to say exception. Then you're going to pour it into a variable. We're going to call it $e. It's kind of like the norm. Then what you do is you're going to echo out a message. You're going to say exception is, let me put a space here. And now we're going to call this guy, because you created an object. We're going to call this object, right, $e, because the error message went in there. And then you're going to run the actual method, which it means it's a, you know, it's familiar to you, right? This looks like a function, and the function inside an object environment is called a method. You know, like this. How do I spell method? Like this? No. Math. What the hell? Okay. Method, like that. A little brain freeze there for a second. Like this. We're going to call this guy. And let's bring this stuff down a little bit. How about if we put, who cares? You'll get to see it. So right now we got this function, right? Wait a minute, something is up. Oh, wait a minute, you know what I forgot to do? This can't be in there. This goes to this one, this one. This one goes to... This one goes to this one. Sorry, because we're not doing this within that function. We're calling that function. That's part of that. That's part of this. That's part of that. Okay, good. But I got to do something here. We need to return it. So how the hell is this guy gonna know anything? Got to return it. So let's return. I'm gonna call it, I don't know, for calculations. We're gonna say 100 slash $the number. And this is how this works. So this is where we return the results. Now this is what's gonna go happen. Right now you're gonna say, well, how are we gonna get to this? Like I mentioned, right? Functions, when you do a function, it doesn't do anything. It has to be invoked. We already talked about that. But what we're gonna do is we're gonna run it, right? So what do? You run it normally here, but we're not gonna do that. We're gonna call the try command, that statement, or that's gonna say, try this. I want you to try this, but I'm gonna give you a number, which is this, right? And when you do this, you're invoking it. Now it's running this stuff, right? This 10 will go into here, and then we're going to compare it by 0, and then we're going to get the results. And then the catch, if you get an error, the catch will, when you do get a message, doesn't matter if it's in, you will get, well, an error, you will get, you will capture that. That's why the word catch is there, and you're going to stick it into this variable, which is an object, and then you're going to call in this method, which happens to be a function. Let's save it and let's run it. Did I misspelled anything? There you go. you can divide this number because it's a 10 to this power. But if I put in, what many number's going to give me that I could? Let's do this. Yeah, how about if we make, well, since the message was 0, excuse me guys, I'm going to add the 0, let's save it. Boom, see? It couldn't do it, it said no, it doesn't work. So you can't divide by 0. See? So any type of error messages and stuff that you want to try when you create huge functions, hopefully it's not that huge, but huge, then you're going to call this guy, it's going to look for any errors and stuff, and if you do get it, then you get a message from within. Depends on how you're writing this, okay? But always have this. This stuff right here is just optional. This is because I wanted that. But it's always this. You always got to make sure you have this. Of course, you're returning stuff because you are calling it. And then, of course, you have your catch because you're trying it. That's a little winded there, right? Now, how to get the last occurred error used by the, you can do, how do you get the last error? And you can get that by the use of something called error get. Let me see. I'll leave it here anyway. Doesn't bother. So how about if we do like something error underscore get error like that? That would be something like this. It returns the last error that occurred as an associated array. Show you that in a second. The associated array contains like 4 keys. Remember that? It does this for the error. Remember those ugly looking errors that we used to get? You would get like the type which describes the error type. You would get like the message that describes the error message. Then you would get like the name of the file where this error is coming from, right? That describes the file name, right? And then you got the line that tells you, hey, it's at line 6 or 7 or 20 or 100 or 1000. So this error get last will kind of do that for you. So what we do is, let's create let's echoes to variable xy. Reason why I say I saw xy because I was looking at this documentary on the gender thing. So stupid. Anyway, here goes print r because it does create an array, right? And you can print that stuff, and then you're gonna say error underscore. That is by the way, underscore get underscore last, and there you have it. Let's do a little space here so we can see it better. Don't forget that semicolon, or else you get an error. An error with the error types of type, message, and file number. Alright, here we go. So we're gonna do that. Let's circle some space just in case. There you go. So what we're going to do is we're going to run, we could do the dump on this thing. And let's run it. Let's see what it looks like. Semicolon. There you go. It's kind of cool, right? Line 39. Where are we? See? We did got an error because, see this right here? We're missing something here, right? And this will print it as because this creates, when you do an error, Remember this error? It's actually in an array. You see it right there? It says array. Type will be 8. The message will be undefined. The variable is xy, that's the one you just created. And then of course the full line where this thing is sitting with the name of the file, 39, which happens to be this one right here, because it doesn't have anything. If I would have done something like this, love PHP, let's look at it. Why not, right? We're testing together. Let's do this. Let's save it. Boom. And give it to you. Love. See? They don't give it to you. Well, I should have put a space there. Maybe I can just do this. There you go. See? It worked out now, but because you had nothing, you got this stuff. That's great stuff, right? Let's take this stuff. And this stuff, you wanna, if you need to write it down, write it down. Here it goes. You got your function, right? It's gonna have a parameter. You're gonna compare that parameter to this 0. Then you're gonna throw in the new exception. Then you're gonna say else because you want another message just in case it does work. You do this, right? And then you're gonna return the calculation. You need to because you're running here. You're gonna return the calculations, right? Then you're gonna use the try because you want to try this guy out. And then you're gonna say catch. So the catch is the error message. Then it's gonna give you exception, which is like right here, because I gave it a 0, see? And then it's gonna print out what that message is, which happens to be this one, because I tried to compare right here. Okay, let's go to the next one. Remember, you created it, you tried to echo a variable that has nothing because you didn't define anything. Then you try to print R. Then you're gonna run the print R because you're gonna run that's gonna read an array, print it out for you. The error get last will get that error because of this here, right? And it's gonna put it in a, which will be in an array, right? And this will help you print it out like this. And then, you know something, if we did this, let's see. Print. I don't really need to do this because I'm not doing anything with it. So we go like this. And boom. Oh. Better way of looking at it. If you're gonna do more commands and stuff, then just add this with the / right in the front of it. That means I'm closing it. See? Open, close. That's the same crap. Alright. Well, we reached the end, and if you enjoyed this video, and I know it was short, and you learned something about error handling, which is a good way of doing it, please hit the like button and subscribe to my channel. This will help grow my channel. And on the next video, I will talk about advanced PHP superglobals. Well, until next time, a good night.